everyone. Thank you for coming. A lot of people have been delayed or bailed out because of the weather. But here we are, AI Strategies for Business. So I hope you enjoy and absorb a lot of information. I hope you feel it will be worthwhile for you. Chamber of Commerce is here to serve and to assist businesses, represent, support and promote and train, develop, grow businesses. So that's why we're here today. So the floor now is going to go over to experts in AI, companies who either are teaching AI or putting AI, various AI services into, or opportunities into businesses. So they're incredibly knowledgeable. We will be doing another session in due course here on AI and how some businesses in the borough of Richmond and Pontex are already currently using AI. So this will be fascinating. It's going to have huge, we all know, we're reading it in the media, it's going to have huge repercussions for us as people, but businesses, which is why we're here, for businesses. And we need to know when to jump and use AI. Timing is everything. So this is why we're putting these sessions on, so as businesses we remain competitive. So that's enough from myself. I'm Anne from the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm Newton. I will now pass to Gavin, who I'll give the microphone to. It's easier, isn't it?
You can do it, I'm quite loud. Welcome all, welcome. So my name's Gavin Hughes, I'm the principal here at the college. And so welcome to the college if you haven't been before. It's a fabulous place. We're a further education college, so we're a sixth form, a big sixth form. There are 2,000 17-year-olds in the building. Testosterone levels around 1 o'clock, about as high as you'll get anywhere. And if you've got teenage kids, you'll know what 2,000 of them can do. But it's fantastic. This building is we're in our 3rd year of this building. Huge investment. We thank you for your taxes. As you walked in, you will have seen that we have a new STEM building being built, new science, engineering, technology. Thank you. We've just built a new 4G AstroTurf pitch, rugby pitch, down the bottom of Cranford Way. Again, we thank you. Our sports hall is being redeveloped as well, for which we thank you. So fantastic. We're going to be the newest FE college estate in the country, pretty much. And it means for Richmond, our community, that they have the best college and the best facilities for their children. We're really proud of that. It's a fantastic thing. So I'll just say a little bit of how AI is affecting us in education. We did a training day with all of our teachers, and we got them to work out how you can just plug in, okay, give me a lesson plan, all right, give me some resources for that, give me a quiz for that, give me a video for that, I didn't know you could do that, give me a PowerPoint, and all of a sudden those things are created. They're fantastic. And our staff would, this is amazing, this is absolutely brilliant. It's fantastic, and they really enjoy it. And the government are doing a couple of things. They've invested $2 million in a company, a group that are working out how the best way for teachers to use AI to make their lives easier and their jobs easier and the like. And the Department for Education has released their paper, how to use AI in education. And their paper asks the question. Will AI replace teachers? And the line just below it says, absolutely not. The interaction, the personal moments that a teacher has, with their students can't be replaced. And at the same time, I'm not sure whether that will hold completely. We're building some immersive rooms on this campus. So we're taking a room, basically you put TVs all around it, and then you put VR sets in it, and then your interactive tablets. We're part of a college group that have got 5 campuses, and they're all doing this. And one person can teach from one place, and everybody in the other place can get that teaching, but get it in an interactive way, so they're not just sort of on a flat screen looking at it. So things are changing in our world a bit, but you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's all right for the teachers. What about the students? What are they up to? Well, of course they're up to. If you're a 17-year-old, you've got an essay to write, then you go, okay, let me type into this. Please write an essay in the form and style of a 17-year-old who's mildly interested in the topic of electromagnetic conductors, who would probably like to segue into a moment about World of Warcraft into this essay for no apparent reason, and produce that for me now in 2,000 words. So they're doing that, they're kind of doing that. It's quite hard for us to detect when they do it that well. There are things you can detect, but I think for the future, we're at the start of AI, so I don't know the future, but I think that my fear is that that will push everything to endpoint assessment, and it will kill off the whole coursework thing and the whole build-up through the year. We don't know, but we do a lot of BTEC work here, and a lot of students spend a lot of time and they do projects and they do endpoint assessments where they build up a sort of a volume of work. And it's not really about the end piece. It's usually about the journey and the travel that they do and how they account for that and how that went. My slight fear is that if we move to everything has to be assessed and you haven't got the internet on you and you've got to say it, then you've got to learn it right, which is a little bit of a worry. A bit of a worry for universities, and it's a bit of a worry for us. So, anyway, that's my part on education, so you are very welcome to college. I thank you very much for that, and I'm passing on. Who am I passing to?
Thank you very much. So now we go to, thank you so much, Gavin. Thank you very much indeed. That was fascinating. Get over here, yeah. So now to Kieran Hayes, who sadly couldn't be here today, but he is beaming in with Natalia's help and Ahmed and the team. So thank you all for your help. So here is Superliminal Software, Kieran Hayes, who's a senior software architect. So over to you, Kieran, for 20 minutes.
Thank you, and good morning to everyone. I'm very happy to be here today. I've got a number of slides for you. I'll skip through the first few because they're not kind of super important. They're just details about me and company and what we do. If you'd like to get them, there's a link on my screen right now, and you can download these slides as a PDF and go away and read them in your own time. Okay, so who am I? I'm a senior software engineer. I've worked for some really quite large organisations. I'm neurodivergent and autistic, blah, 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 blah. And I've been working with AI since 2014. Very close ties with Microsoft, local businesses, business expos, etc., etc. And who are we? We're based in Oxford, and we do all sorts of great stuff. We've been doing lots of Microsoft AI technology for quite some time now, so you may consider that we're experts in the field. We've worked with many different companies out there in many different spaces. We've won awards, yeah, great. We're very closely tied to Microsoft, like I've said, so these are the sort of Microsoft AI programs, applications, etc. that are out there and available for you to use in your businesses right now. And here's a number of uses that we put them to in what we do here, and building applications, AI solutions for our customers. So first of all, very important point, Microsoft AI and ethics. So AI must not be bad, but business owners should not be scared, nor should the users, the people that are going to actually use the AI in your business. And it's not here to replace you, it's here to augment what you do. And I think the key message is master AI as your ally before it masters you. There are some questionable cyber and military uses of AI that we probably don't have time to talk about today, but you might want to go off and have a look at. I've seen some videos on YouTube of robots with machine guns literally not killing humans because they've been programmed not to. There's a couple of links there that you might want to go and have a look. ethics of AI and how AI should be responsible. So, Microsoft AI, how can SMEs begin to approach their AI journey? How would you build an effective AI transformation strategy and roadmap? And what should you be thinking about and why? So it all starts with data. Key part. Excuse me. So no data, no AI. It's as simple as that. You can't have AI if you haven't got any data. But you also need the right data. Because if you haven't got the right data, that will effectively not do so well for your AI modeling, and that will determine as to if your AI is good or if your AI is bad. Rubbish in, rubbish out. It's as simple as that. So that's where it all starts. And if you're getting on your AI journey now, you have to really think about your data, where you're storing it, and how you're going to use it, and most importantly, how you're going to collect it. So, how can Microsoft AI launch your business? Well, this really is a huge iPhone-esque moment. It will be bigger than the internet. It's as simple as that. You can do much more than just generative AI, ChatGPT. And it's all about doing less, handing off tasks to the machines and doing what you do best. Being change agents, not getting rid of staff. We can do things like speech translation, image classification, using machine learning. We can find value in your data, spot patterns, act on them, and leverage all of that data that you've got in your business so that you've evolved the business to an AI-underpinned business. So, implement Microsoft AI, and what will you do? Well, you're going to save time, you're going to save money, you're going to save fees on third parties. There's all sorts of things that AI can benefit, for your business. And I won't dwell on those. I'll let you have a look at those in your own time if you get the slides. But essentially, the key message again: save time, save money. So what have we done? Well, we've built 10 plus co-pilots, chatbots. We've built voice apps that run on Alexa, Google Home. We've built custom AI vision apps. We've built AI business intelligence, we've done predictive analysis modeling and recommendation engines. All of those I will come on to a little bit more in detail very soon. So, Microsoft AI, chatbots, you must have heard of Copilot by now. Everybody's heard of Copilot, everybody's heard of ChatGPT. Very useful tool for customer interaction and also for interaction with your employees. Microsoft AI now available 20 plus languages, 15 channels, and also Microsoft AI can change language as you converse with it. So you can start talking to it in English and then it will flip over to German or Spanish. So it doesn't matter as to where you're from or who you are, you can effectively use AI using natural language, using your voice to talk to the AI and communicate with it and get answers that you need. So some recent stats, Microsoft AI Copilot increases productivity by 70+%. These are early figures from Microsoft. So they're seeing all sorts of benefits, but in general, around about 70% increase in productivity. That's like adding a new employee to your business. It's as simple as that. So what is Copilot? I'm sure you probably all know. This is the free version of it. You can go and use it at any time. It doesn't cost any money to use. It runs with ChatGPT, and it's there for you to go and have a play with and see what you can do with or without it. Something that we spend a lot of time doing at the moment is building custom co-pilots. So your co-pilot, your way. The co-pilot understands your business context, brings skills to the table when you need them. I was just referring to virtual employees. So we basically build knowledge bases from your website, SharePoint, documents, etc., and then we can deliver customer service, employee onboarding, support, sophisticated AI interfaces running across many channels: WhatsApp, Alexa, Skype, Facebook, all those different channels. And in one click, you can then hand off to a human if the co-pilot isn't helping the customer or the employee. So very, very powerful technology. So let me just hop over to another screen. Bear with me just one moment. I just have to change my screen for a moment. Now, how do I do this? Teams. So if I go, just bear with me a moment. I'll probably appear from nowhere. Okay, hang on. So, okay, so if anybody would like to have a play with Copilot, you can go to our website and you can see one running here. So this is trained specifically on our data, it's trained specifically on our website data. So we can literally say things to it like, hello, and it will answer back. And it will ask us a question, what would we like to do? So we can say, I am interested in AI co-pilots. It should go away and talk to our data. So there you go. It's given us a nice answer about how we reach out and talk to us about co-pilots. We can also do things, whereas we can say to it, what are your opening hours? And you can see it's given us the opening hours for the company, and we can say yes or no, and it will give us into a little survey. So, very quick, very easy to build, trained on your data, positioned onto your website, and taking all the calls that you would normally take via telephone, your Copilot can give the answers to your customers. So, very powerful piece of technology. Let me just come out there, because I don't have as much time today as we'd like to. Hang on a moment. Get back to my presentation. It should be that one. Okay, there we go, we're back. Okay, so this is a new type of Copilot and AI chatbot you can do. So you can now build chatbots and Copilots using video and voice. So the video and voice is fully interactable, which you'll see in a moment. And also what you can do is you can pre-build videos and video answers for your Copilot. So I'll just play this one. It should play.
Hello, welcome to Neurobio. We're a privately owned biotech out of Oxford University
I'm not quite
with a
sure
therapeutic focus on neurodegenerative disease.
But I've got it muted. No, it's up. So what's happened there? She does actually talk.
Hello, welcome to Neurobio. We're a privately owned biotech out of Oxford University with a therapeutic focus on neurodegenerative disease.
Your video to make it absolutely your Copilot. So if you were perhaps a flamboyant CEO, you could have a video of yourself with your voice on your website or within your apps, and it will move and talk and interact with your prospective customers, and it's all powered by ChatGPT algorithms in the background. So a very powerful tool. Let me just change slides. Okay, so let me just do this, and then I need to hop onto another screen. If you just bear with me a moment. And here we go. So if I now go share this one with audio. Okay, you should all now be able to see big red screens. So this is the avatar actually running, and you should be able to see her. You can see she kind of moves around. So if I just click start microphone, I'll say hello to her, she should answer back. Hello.
Hello. How can I assist you with information about Superloader software from Oxford or anything related to their services and partnerships today?
Which is a shame. As you can see, her answers are up here. So we can say to her, What AI services do you have? And she's now gone away, she's querying, so there you go. As an AI developer, blah, 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 blah. So you should actually be hearing this, but apologies if you aren't. So this is a brand new technology. It's obviously not production ready. We've just built it as a demonstration to our prospective customers and clients. But you can see the power that's possible with such an interface. Let's just do that and go back to here. Back to my slides. Okay, so the downside. There's always a downside. So we ran the Avatar Copilot just in March, and these are the costs for running it. And it didn't really do so much. So you can see it's a lovely interface. It looks great, but unless you're a bigger business that has a reasonable budget for these kinds of things, it does get very costly very quickly. So compared to a Copilot, the Copilot is much less a cost, and is also much less cost to build as well. So just move on. Okay, so some more technology from Microsoft that helps with your business, helps with the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. So using AI Builder, we can build models that allow us to extract data from, paper forms. We can do things like scan documents, invoices, and then build a knowledge base, and then query that knowledge base. You could, for example, if you have a paper form in your business that you would like to grab the data off of regularly, let's say it's an engineer that goes out and does a piece of work, has to get it signed, you can use something like AI Builder to then build an AI model, and then every time you receive one of those documents, you scan the document, process it through the AI Builder, and it will extract the data, insert it into a database or a CRM or another application that you might have. So super powerful stuff. You can also use it in things like Power Apps, the Power Platform, within SharePoint, 365, etc., etc. So, next. Huge part of AI and a huge part of what you should be thinking about is automation. So how can you look at your business, how can you look at what you do and identify things that you do repeatedly, look at your work patterns, look at your workflows, look at how you can automate as many things as possible using software. So if you're doing the same thing on your computer once a week, you can automate it. If you're doing the same thing on your computer once a day, every day, you can automate that. You can automate things such as onboarding, or let's say you're a business that takes appointments, where you can take the appointments and then act upon the appointments, sending emails in the background, sending forms, sending different applications to the users, so that you can start the beginning of your workflow, process everything digitally in the cloud using AI, and then there is no human intervention, which of course can save you days. It's as simple as that. So very powerful stuff. So flow description. This is very helpful for when you're trying to create your different automations and flows. So instead of having to sit there and figure out what it is exactly that you're trying to do, you can use flow description to help you, and you can talk to it in just natural language, or you can describe using the keyboard, and it will then build your flows for you and build your automations for you. So that's a very powerful tool if you've got SharePoint, if you've got Office 365, etc., etc. And this is totally separate to 365 Copilot. We won't be talking about that today because that's not really something that we do. Okay, so Microsoft AI in apps, cloud apps, in your browser, mobile apps, desktop apps. What can you do with apps? Pretty much anything. So using Microsoft AI Cognitive Services, you can do things like image processing on the device, text processing on the device. You can run different models on your device, and you can then run chatbots, you can run the video avatar that we saw a little bit ago, and you can also run things like reporting, etc., etc. So when people say, where can I use AI in applications? Anyway, any AI pretty much in the Microsoft stack, you can add into apps. Which of course is very powerful. If you've got existing apps, you can upgrade them, or if you're planning new apps, new websites, e-commerce, etc., etc., you can build it all into there from the off. So, the key, really biggest part of Microsoft AI for Business really is the business intelligence side of it. So, using AI to predict the future using your data. Extracting business insights and improvements by building AI-based reporting and metrics, and reducing time for key business processes, and reliably looking into your data, forecasting sales, stock, visitor numbers, anything in your data. We can basically run an algorithm over, and it will give us predictions for it. So this is super, super powerful stuff. You know, we can build recommendation engines. So your customers go onto your website, they sign up, you profile them with their data, and then from there you can then make more qualified recommendations to them. So for instance, if your store sold, I don't know, shoes, you could sell certain people with a certain type of shoe, a certain type of cleaner the next time they tried to make a purchase. So it's super powerful stuff. We don't really have too much time to go into it in any detail today, but it is something that if you have a business and you have data and you're turning over numbers of customers, it's something that you really should start to look at, because it will help you to generate further revenue down the road from that customer data. It also means you can do things like personalise different aspects of selling. You can generate personalised emails based on the data that you're holding on your customers, which means that you can send out emails and effectively coerce your customers to buy from you a second time. So very powerful stuff. So what's next in AI? Well, it's something called AGI. I encourage anybody out there with interest in AI to go and have a look at this. If you just do a Google search, you can find lots of papers out there, there's lots of articles on there, and it's really, really interesting if you have a bit of a flair for AI. So I would encourage anybody who's interested in this subject to go and have a look. Start your AI journey now. Someone can't spell on my team. How do you do that? So go here, here's some resources for you. Go to Microsoft Learn, okay? There's an AI learning hub there. You can find out all sorts of information about AI tools, how does AI work. You can get some skills and badges and training, and it's all free. It doesn't cost a penny. There's also all of those web pages on our website. You can go and take a look at those, and you'll find all sorts of information on various parts of AI things that we do. And then there's also a page here with some white papers from Microsoft. So please feel free to go to that link and download the white papers and have a look at them. They're not an easy read, but they're super important. And thank you to Microsoft for letting us have those so that we can give them to you. And have a look at our digital brochure if you get a minute. You can see that on our website, on that link there. And we'd love to hear from you if you need some help. So this is the view of our projects, not all of them AI, but as you can see, we've certainly done some very helpful stuff for our customers in the past. So that's it from me. If you'd like to go onto our website and have a look at those links and stuff, feel free. And I hope you've had some valuable information today. And if anybody's got any questions, you can contact us on the website as well.
Thank Thank you, Kieran. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you for with everything going on. We appreciate
No
your
problem.
presence today. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. And now we pass to Peter Goring from Saxo Group, one of our award winners, and he will be speaking to us about low-hanging fruit in respect to AI, so that works very well. So over to you. Talk about yourselves, please.
Alright, cool, yeah. And then I'll switch to it when the guy comes on. Yeah.
Hello. Good morning, how's everyone doing? Coffee, please. No worries. So, who have we got with today? We got any developers in? Got any geeks?
This one. Mostly like,
Yes.
I literally got 1.5 arms there. Any geeks in the house? Yeah? Yes. I hope so. At least them. Yeah? Absolutely. Any business owners?
fine.
Business owners? Accountants? Okay, cool. No worries. Alright, so I'm Peter Goring from Saxo, co-founder and Chief Technology Officer, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Of Saxo. We are very proud of our awards, anyway. We're 2 years running UK Dev Awards, the large agency finalist. We're also the Service Excellence Award at the Federation of Small Business Awards. Very proud of that one. And obviously, our most proud is the Richmond Business Awards, where we've won a couple of years running. Yes, oh, thanks. Yeah, very kind. Saxo, we've been around for about 15 years. What we do is we help organisations grow, increase efficiency, increase sales, engagement. We automate, we integrate, and we do that through the creation of bespoke websites, applications, e-commerce, and then providing all the hosting support that makes sense around them. So it's end-to-end. That's what we do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a little bit of some low-hanging fruits of AI, some simple stuff, some useful stuff. And then we're going to go through some do's and don'ts of ChatGPT, and then we're going to go through a project that we've launched recently. Please don't break it just yet. Be kind. I know you won't be. And then we've got a bit of a little bit of a pack that you could download and take away and do stuff with from there. I think what's quite cool, definitely Kieran is definitely a Microsoft house, right? I think he likes Microsoft. So do I. But we're the other side of the coin. So we're open source. We're more of a PHP type house. And I am basically a massive geek. So geeks in the house. Okay, so I sort of said to the team, we sat down and we said, well, what am I going to talk about in this session? I said, well, why don't we ask AI what AI is and see what happens? So we asked AI. What do we think of that? Thumbs up, thumbs down, useful? Is that useful? Useful? Yeah? Okay, a bit long, isn't it? Yeah? I was like, oh God, okay. So then we said, well, can you put that into one sentence? And it did. And then we said, put it into one word. What do you think it said? Anyone? What did it say? Anyone got any ideas? Simplification? What's that? Error. 404. Anyone else? Actually, it'd be 500. Sorry, that'd be 500 error. Anyone else? No? There? Any ideas? Artificial. Yeah, definitely artificial. I'm picking on there. Is that okay? Sorry. Once in a lifetime, right? Automation. Yeah, and I was like, Yes, use that slide. Absolutely, that is going in because that really sums up what AI is for me anyway. It's automation. It's about being that personal assistant, that executive assistant, that kind of personal shoulder supporting you, allowing you to let up and do more because it's doing the mundane, if you like, the kind of tasks that you don't always have enough time to do. So a few low-hanging fruit then, I'll take you through a few bits. First of all, read. Anyone use read? Apart from Chris. Everyone, that's Chris, my head of design up there. Say hello, Chris. So Chris, so read AI. This, nobody uses it, nobody put their hand up, that's quite good. So read AI, what this is essentially is if you've ever joined I don't know about you guys, I spent my life on Teams or Zoom. You? Anyone else? Anyone not spend their life on Teams or Zoom? Too much time? May I go around up? Yes. Okay. Alright. So I spent my life on Teams and Zoom. I also always frantically taking notes. I'm always trying to record calls that I never listen back to. And so Read AI is fantastic. And what it does is it joins the meeting with you, and essentially acts like an EA and PA, and it will summarise and take notes and analyse that meeting for you live, and then give you a report afterwards that says, here's one paragraph, which is your meeting. Yeah? Oh, that's good. And okay. So, really powerful tool. Quite interestingly, I've got an account management team at Saxo, very proud of them, and I said to them, I won't tell you who they are, I'll let you work out from the list there. I said to them, the clients should be talking 70% of the time, and we should be talking 30% of the time. We should listen. And basically, none of them listened. And we've got the evidence there. I'll let you work out who it is. Yeah, 45%. So, yeah, really powerful tools. Essentially, Read AI gave me a lovely summary at the top left-hand corner. It gave me the main topics, and then it gave me participation. And I don't know if you can see it. Does this work? Oh, yes, look at that. You can see here that it's doing like a percentage of the people that are talking in that meeting. Yeah, quite good for summarising maybe a lesson or a lecture. College people. Yeah, cool. Cool, another one there. Too long, didn't read. Anyone not have enough time to read an article? Or maybe 10 articles that they have to read? Maybe a set. Go on? Chain emails. Yeah, I know. Sorry, that's not really my fault, I do apologise. Absolutely. Or maybe an essay that students drafted. I don't know, something like that. So, too long, didn't read, TLDR, really powerful, low-hanging fruit AI. Yeah? Brilliant bit of kit. Okay, it will literally save you so much time. Okay. Anyone heard of that? What's that? ChatGPT. Your personal assistant. Yeah, exactly. Okay, ChatGPT. So, a few do's and don'ts then on ChatGPT. Okay, so 1, be detailed. Okay, with your prompts. Give it information. Don't hold back. Give it the information it needs to do what you want it to do. Ask it to act like a certain job or specific knowledge. So give it some context. Tell it why and what you want. Okay? Talk to it like a kind of like human. Sorry, I know it's artificial, man. Got on. Then we've got keep informed about AI advancements. So I typed into Google on the way and I just literally said, what's the latest thing in AI? And I just got a whole load of great stuff to look, and obviously then I copied it into this, and then I read it, and make sure you keep up to date with it, because it is, as quite rightly Kieran said, it is bigger than the iPhone. Love that. It is the next thing. So keep up to date with it, and don't be afraid of it. Leverage it rather than fight it. It's a really powerful tool that can allow us to do some really impressive things. One of the most exciting things I love is I'm a Trekkie. Any other Trekkies in the house? Yeah, cool. I've got 3 head of digital. Love it. Oh, okay. Got some. Yeah, okay. Didn't expect that. Absolutely, so I'm a Trekkie, so I'm all about warp drive. Yeah? No? And obviously, nuclear fusion and energy and unlimited energy. And AI is one of those things that's empowering that and helping us with our energy problems in the world, right? Like, do not put personal information into ChatGPT. Okay? Do not put personal information in there, sensitive information. Do not share those sorts of things in there because it is not necessarily secure. Okay? It's safe and secure, but it's not a private portal, it's not a private bit of information. Do not put personal information in there, sensitive information. Also, just be cautious around SEO. Okay? SEO is search engine optimization, if you've not dealt with that before, and that is all about getting you up to the first page of Google, essentially, in the simplest form, and there are other search engines available, of course. Ultimately, SEO, the way that ChatGPT and AI works, is essentially we've taken a snapshot of the internet and we put it into ChatGPT. So when you create SEO, blog, or regular content, you are essentially leveraging something that's already been done before. And one of the core mechanics of SEO is unique, regular content. So if you're using ChatGPT, it might not be unique. Also, there's a whole raft of copyright issues there. I won't go down that rabbit hole today. Okay? Cool, so a little bit about a project that we've launched. So this is creative art. Essentially, imagine you could go to a portal, go to a website, put in a brief into that website, and then it would generate you some imagery based on your brief, and it would then allow you to then send that to a print partner, in this case Printful, and then it would then send that to mugs and canvases and physical things that they print on. So we put in here into this platform that we've launched, so we've now leveraged the DALI AI, and you put the brief into it, and then comes up the images, you select the product, and then from there it will then place it on the product. You can then add it to your basket, you can buy for it, pay for it, and then obviously look at that beautiful video, right? Great, isn't it? Visually like that. It's like, that was totally not created with AI, I promise. But yeah, that's essentially it. So we work with basically these guys had this brainchild. They came to us and they said, look, we've got this idea, we need a digital partner to deliver it. So we met with them, we mapped it all out, did a series of digital workshops, discovery workshops. Then we designed the platform. Once the platform was designed, we then built the platform, we then launched it, hosted it, supported. And then we ride off into the digital sunset with them and work with them for years and years to come. So that's one of the projects that we've worked on together. So just to round off then, and I don't know if I've got any time for a couple of questions. Okay, quick questions. stacksergroup.com/AI, get onto that, fill in your details, download the pack, and you also, if anyone wants to get in touch, all our details are on there, you can come and ask if you've got any questions, and I'm obviously available for parties, conferences, etc. All that kind of good stuff. Cool. Thank you very much. So yeah, bit of fun. Literally.
Are there any questions for Peter? No? Okay. No, so that was so now moving on rapidly, can I invite Manoj, founder? He is from Richmond Hillcroft Adult Community College. We've known him for many years. He's head of business, digital and creative technology, and he's speaking about developing, or how to develop a GPT app for business strategic approach with development process overview. So quite an interesting whistle-stop tour again, but you know where to go for further information. I'd like to thank the Mayor, Madam Mayor, for coming along. Really appreciate your presence today. And Steve Diamond, thank you from the Council, and Richmond Housing Partnership and Technology, thank you for coming along as well. You lovely people, thank you for coming along. Over to you.
Thank you. Nice to hold a microphone in a while. Thank you, Gareth, for inviting us here today. It's nice venue to be in. I'm going to kick off with a presentation and a bit of introduction of myself. My role is as head of digital and creative at RAC, it's the other college down the road in Richmond. We've got a good relationship with the tertiary college here, and I'm going to talk a bit about GPTs today. Try and use this clicker device if I can. Okay. So, how to develop a GPT app for business? Quick show of hands, who's actually used GPT before here? See the kind of general utilisation of it. So almost all of you have actually. Good. So just starting from the very beginning upwards, what is GPT? What does it mean? What's behind it? To understand the mechanics. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Generative, to create and generate content. Pre-trained, it has read the internet, as you've heard from the previous speakers, and on a certain timestamp as well. And what it's done is it's learned by predicting the next word in a sentence. So it has very lot of familiarity with grammar, with things like context and nuance. What it does with what it's learned is it can also transform. So if you ask it a question, a prompt, it will predict the most likely word that comes next. It's all through a lot of complex mathematics. So really, it's a form of AI, and artificial intelligence, that word AI is being used in different circles. So some of the circles I've been reading, that word AI being reduced to automation was quite an interesting thing today. The other word I've heard is augment. So augmented intelligence, another concept where humans are actually being augmented and improved and enhanced by it. So GPT, I was a user of ChatGPT originally, and I started moving up the models to see what it does. So as an educator myself, I need to play with things and do things to try them out. And GPTs, plural, are actually the ability to create our own bots, chatbots effectively, and applications, a bit like the co-pilot you saw earlier. So this creates a lot of possibilities for business. So 5 use case scenarios, just to break these examples down for you. So across this, we've got the simple one you saw earlier on is a chatbot, which you saw earlier. Also, so think about it internally too. So your business inside, the staff also have knowledge sharing needs. So if you have like an internal chatbot, which is maybe more localized and protected, you can have like an internal service help desk for something like IT, for example. Streamlining common tasks. So a very common one is trying to handle your diary and calendar. So how you can maybe organize the booking of appointments. Boosting content generation. Marketing teams sometimes hit roadblocks and trying to produce things. The ability to generate creative content, but particularly with the style and tone of voice that your marketing team uses. So if you feed it your marketing team's collateral, it will talk in your marketing style. Also, of course, data analysis and the ability to predict patterns and forecast metrics and so on. So looking at how you might go about developing an application like this, the sort of steps to think about. It obviously starts off with need, again, kind of fundamental need. What is the need for your business? What do you want to try and achieve? And no doubt you'll have some sort of set of objectives you're trying to get towards anyway. So let's keep those business goals where they are. But then try and choose the right GPT version. There's 4 of them now within OpenAI's platform to fit your exact requirements. So once you've done that, it's then thinking about a user-friendly interface. You've got to remember that, regardless of all the great things in technology, people still understand things differently and also individually. They're very unique in that way. So trying to get that user interface that's can comprehend any kind of input from your customers or internally is important. So it requires training, and the training of it takes some time to get it right. So you train the model, again, accurate and effective outputs. Again, try and make it understand your particular style or brand of content. So the jargon of your industry, the abbreviations, the kind of thing customers ask are very specific to you as individual businesses. And then the integration. So GPT does allow for integration with other tools. So content management systems, CRMs, and Zapier, which is an automation productivity tool. Then moving on to testing. So the testing process and getting feedback. So your users have got to give that feedback and really tell you how it's going and pick up things like bias, like things that have come out maybe slightly corrupted, so you get that right. The other side of it is, of course, the ethical considerations. And this is, if you think about maybe how people are feeling about AI, there's really a mixed perception. If I go across the different sectors I've spoken to, the charity sector, voluntary sector, education sector, health, and business now here as well, there's different perceptions of AI, what it could do, and concerns. So thinking about staff awareness and culture for responsible use is a good starting point. And in a way, you can ask every member of staff to interact with AI and have some kind of connection with it, because as they try it out themselves, they can't really have the proper perception. So that kind of idea, building up the idea of culture of standardised practice and guidelines is a good way to go. So you should think about a policy for AI. And that means thinking that being inclusive and considerate of all the sort of pitfalls. So you saw that example from Peter earlier, where someone put in their personal data into the AI engine, and that would be stored in there somewhere, subject to the GPT license you have. And there are levels of security of what's shared with it and not shared. So it needs to be thought to that privacy and data concerns there. So generally speaking, if you think about your business and the departments you've got, maybe working with small projects to get going with it is a good sort of safe option, because it is a very fast-moving thing. I can hardly keep up with it. I'm a digital person, and for me, I'm finding it quite tricky to keep up with the pace. So we have to learn, I think, collectively here. And some of us are doing more than others are. You're sort of superluminal, really down the road with this. Some of us are in kind of infancy stage, so we need a kind of collective pool of intelligence. So start small pilot projects are a great way to do it, and then look at refining them and evaluating them before you blow up big with it. So some examples of GPTs, the different ones I've worked with. So GPT Plus, ChatGPT is standard. Okay, everyone has access to that. The GPT Plus, you pay for it, it's like about £15 a month. And this is where you can start to make your own GPTs. So a simple one that I was playing with, I just uploaded some PDFs, knowledge files, and I asked it some queries, and it will then start working. And people with the same account as me can see that application. That's how it currently works with the GPT store. Now, if I scale up a level and go to the GPT team, this is where some more features, you're not going to see this at the very back, but I'm just going to go down the list. So $25 per person per month, everything in the Plus model, and it has this ability to, where the arrows are, create and share GPTs with your workspace. So you can make an app for your team to share and use. You also could exclude your data from the training model, so you're securing off, keeping a kind of ring fence around your proprietary information with GPT team. Now if I scale a level up above that, and then look at enterprise. And enterprise expands that a little bit further. Again, it excludes the data from the training set. It has unlimited access to it. There's no kind of caps on how much you can do. And you've got the priority support and ongoing account management there, and some admin controls. There's a kind of high level there, and you have to contact them for that kind of approach, and they'll come back to you with a proposition. And the next level up is open API. So if you've got developers in-house, and there are three kind of main languages it tends to work with. So developers in-house can use the open model, where you can start to build your own applications with open API. And there's an example of the interface there, how it looks. So if you've got developers, for example, who use Python, Node.js, or Curl, those are the three. And I've had various different types of implementation here. That means you can do much more behind the scenes with the development of it. So a quick use case scenario here, just walking through kind of how you might look at this from a business point of view. There's a business challenge at the top there. Just quick check on time, and how am I on time? 5 minutes. So a quick rundown on the kind of example of a use case scenario. Here's a retail company. We're going to kick off with a business challenge. So the problem is a challenge with managing customer inquiries, long waiting times, and decreased customer satisfaction. Now, I work in a college, we have a very busy phone line service. So I'm thinking, I wish someone was watching this from my team today and see it. So there's a big problem for us. What happens if you can't handle the volume of demand? So the objective is here to try and improve our response times to our customer inquiries by 20%. And how do we go about doing it? So the GPT solution is to make a simple chatbot, a user-friendly interface accessible via the web, and a mobile version, and then sort of fine-tune that responsiveness on past customer service interactions, queries, even complaints, and feedback. So because it understands now the typical answers that maybe the person on the phone might give, it can give us some tangible benefits. So things like handling thousands of inquiries at the same time, giving a much more personalised and more accurate response, 24/7 availability, and the very bit you can't see at the very bottom is the way it builds up its collected insight. So if it starts, spends maybe 2 weeks just listening to customers' inquiries, it will be able to tell us what the most common inquiries were, what were the ones that they weren't answering, and maybe customers weren't happy with some answers as well, and they gave a kind of thumbs down. And that information is really useful to feed back to our web team to say, when you're putting stuff on the website, put this FAQ there. These are the most commonly asked questions, because you want to try and reduce the inquiries, really, don't you? Get people self-serving. So it kind of is a cycle where you're always improving your responsiveness to the customer as time goes on. So in terms of what might our business, more of a kind of open question thinking time here. So what might our business community need to make the most of AI? I feel we're all still learning and would benefit from our pooling of intelligence together, much like how AI works. Things like this are great, resources and support networks like the Chamber. Experienced practitioners, more show and tell stories, maybe a few months down the line we can see who did what, what they made, what was produced and what worked and what hasn't. And I do believe there are some innovation grants out there which could be tapped, and some of you might be able to harness some of those sort of funds and make some projects take off, so we can see what we can do for our local business economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good, thank you. Complimented the other speakers perfectly. Now we're moving on to ADM Computing. Andy Cox, who's Associate Technical Director of ADM. One of the bosses stepped in because the gentleman fell ill. I was indisposed yesterday, so we're very lucky to have Adam Cox speaking in. But sorry that his colleague is unwell, obviously, Nathan. So we have tips and tricks for getting the most out of AI tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot by Andy Cox. So just beaming him in, hopefully. Well, maybe in the meantime, I can ask you to say a few words about RHB and AI, maybe? If you come to the front and just so that they're left with no presentation.
Hello, I'm Gareth Livingston from the Northwest. I don't come with subtitles, so if you don't understand what I'm saying, just put your hand up and I'll do my best. So I'm Head of Technology at Richmond Housing Partnership, which is our main office based over in Teddington. And in terms of AI, we are looking at a few things with AI. We have a quite aggressive digital transformation that's happening with a lot of our back office systems at the minute. And the real game changer for us in AI is Copilot, which Kieran was talking about earlier. Because we are a Microsoft house, and what you were saying before, Peter. I use ChatGPT, I really do. And the reason why it's a game changer for us is what Peter was saying before. If you put your sensitive information into ChatGPT, it's out there in the ether. But what Copilot allows us to do is to create it within our own tenant, which is a secure area which is just accessible by RHBP. And things like Copilot Builder allows us to then build specific AI tools to leverage our data and our knowledge. Now that sounds great, but the problem is you really do need good data and good knowledge base to be able to do that. So what we're doing is putting the building blocks in place for AI, which doesn't sound very sexy, it doesn't sound very exciting, which I mean, my data architect might disagree with that, but it's really about putting a data platform in place which can consume all our data from all our many, many systems and put it into a place where we can understand it, shape it, and then feed it to AI, so that we can trust what AI is telling us. Because there is some low-hanging fruit out there. ChatGPT as a personal assistant is a great one, but you've got to trust what it's telling you. To be able to, for our people at RHB to trust what it's telling us, we need to do that investment into the data that's consuming. Yeah, that's kind of that side of it. The other thing that keeps me up at night is the ethical side of AI, and what governance needs to be in place to be able to protect our people from AI. When we're talking about AI, what we're really talking about is computers being able to do lots of work really quickly over a lot of data. So the nefarious types in the world who operate on this mysterious place called the dark web have also got access to all of this brilliant technology, and they're using it for things like cyber attacking and denial of service attacks. So for me, whilst AI is also an opportunity, it's also creating an additional headache, because realistically, as an organisation, it's not a case of if we'll get a cyber attack, it's when we get a cyber attack. So as AI and machine learning and the capabilities of hackers increases, I need to build in systems that can detect when we're about to get attacked and recover from that attack effectively. And luckily, Microsoft is also thinking in those terms. So Copilot isn't just for Microsoft 365, it's for Azure, which is the Microsoft cloud. And in preview at the minute is Copilot for Security Defender. And what that's going to allow us to do is to really hone our cyber security across our cloud estate. And there are opportunities there which I'm talking to our Microsoft account manager to try and get in that preview so that we can understand it. Because as an organisation, the biggest risk to us is cyber attack. This is quite impromptu, I'm just rambling now. Does anybody have any questions? You have a question? Huh?
How many businesses do you think a year are subject to cyber attacks, and how much do they impact?
It's a very good question, which I don't know the answer to. I imagine lots. For us, in the sector that I operate in, the social housing sector, I have a colleague who works for Riverside Housing, which is based in the Northwest, a former colleague, I should say, and they were subjected to a cyber attack 2 years ago, and they are only just really back to the status quo where they are, where they were beforehand. It caused immense damage. So the trick is to not put up the wall, which you need to put up the wall, but the ladder will always get higher to climb that wall. The trick is to really invest in your ability to recover. If you can recover quickly, you can get back to the status quo much quickly. And it's all about disaster recovery, business continuity, having a real clear plan in place to be able to deal with cyber attacks. Danger of turning an AI discussion into cyber, but here we go. Yeah, it's incredibly expensive. And people talk about cyber insurance, and we are talking about cyber now, but you need to have specific accreditations now to get cyber insurance. And I was asked by one of our board members if we had any crypto to pay a cyber ransom. And the answer to that is no, we do not have crypto, because the first rule is that you do not pay the ransom, because you have no guarantee whatsoever that you will get what you are asking for back. You're just giving the hackers more funds to work with. So yeah. Hello? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In the next 5 years, I was reading that we may all have our own personal AI. Our brains could connect to the cloud. I could be having a conversation with you but not moving my lips, right? I could be transferring files from myself to you. Our children will have their own personal AIs. Our children will fall in love with those AIs. Those AIs will know them better than themselves. So I think, maybe that can answer the question, will teachers exist? I don't think they'll exist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, So what we'll say, just at that last point, so the CEO of ChatGPT, or Open Group, is currently trying to get about $2 trillion worth of funding. And what he's going to use that funding for is to build factories, to build as much chips as he can get, and to build a nuclear power plant and then build to power the plant. And that's where, if he can do that, that's when the next generation of AI will come in. Until that place, the barrier is the ability to produce the chips and to power them. Yeah, that's it. Possible, but I'm ruling on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we have Andy Cox, Associate Technical Director from ADM for 15 minutes. Over to you, Andy. Thanks for beaming in.
That's okay. Good morning, all. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, first of all, yeah, I've been in a short notice because my colleague who was going to attend originally, unfortunately, is off sick. And also, we had another disaster this morning because one of our project managers, Gary, was going to be with you in person, and unfortunately, he broke down on the motorway. So I'm flying solo on this one, but that's all good. So, okay, let me just share my screen with you. So what we're going to talk about basically is a little bit of how, particularly the Microsoft tools, we're seeing them starting being used for AI within organisations at the moment. I will scoot through quite a lot of this quite quickly because it normally takes a little bit longer to go through, but yeah, if you just bear with me. So, okay, here we go. So a little about myself, yeah, my name's Andy Cox, I'm a Senior Engineer, Associate Technical Director at ADM, been with ADM for 14 years. Primary focus is Microsoft 365 ecosystem and all things associated with that, sort of cloud systems and security. Very briefly, ADM Computing, we've been around since 1984. I may be getting on a bit, but I'm not one of the people in that picture from 1984. We're one of the top Microsoft partners in the country, in the top 10. Okay, so we're just going to have a look at some of the tools that are available now to us. Let me just. So particularly the one that everyone will have heard of is ChatGPT, which Microsoft heavily invested in. Where we're starting seeing use of that within businesses, particularly within the Microsoft tools that leverage that. One of the important things is don't think about just using AI because it's the current big thing to use. What you really need to do is look at what your business needs and use the appropriate tools that assist your business needs. Don't be driven by AI as because it looks so cool and it's fantastic. Look for where it can actually add value, perhaps save you some resources, save you some time with that. All of this is very, very new. It's very new to ADM as well. We're slowly seeing it pushing out into our customers. Current customers who are using some of these tools, we're working very much with them, so we all get an understanding of what can be done with them. Very important thing as well is how you look to integrate this with your existing systems and data, because it is very easy to basically say, okay, this AI tool, go away, go and search through all of my data, and you don't actually know what it's looking for. So there is some things you need to be careful with. So ChatGPT, ChatGPT, that is the back end of everything in the Microsoft ecosystem, basically. Powerful AI language model, built on the latest GPT-4, available in free, public and paid plans, and can access information as recently as April 2023. Important to note that if you are using the Microsoft AI tools, you are accessing the Microsoft implementation of the ChatGPT models. So, although you pay a license fee to Microsoft for using these tools, you don't have to pay additional fees directly to OpenAI. It's all basically included in the Microsoft ecosystem within that. Sorry, was someone say something, or was that just me hearing a lot of noise?
Just a cough.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is basically what ChatGPT looks like just in the web interface. And the key to it is just really deciding what it is that you want to ask it. So for example here, natural language questioning. Can you recommend a couple of icebreaker activities for a team building day at work, blah, blah, blah. ChatGPT goes away, queries it, and basically comes back with this information. Again, this is a slightly light-hearted look at it. And again, it's always very, very important to not take everything it's saying as true. You know, you need to do your own assessment of what's coming back from that information, okay? Google Gemini is Google's implementation of it. I'm going to skip on that because really it's not something that we delved into. We are fundamentally on the Microsoft side of it. Again, these are the sort of conversations that could be happening in Gemini as well, and that comes back and again, create a 12-week study plan for learning a new language. It will go away, come back and give you this plan. This equally applies to ChatGPT. Okay. So Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft OpenAI are the things that we really look at, and there's different flavours of it. So the most basic one, known this week as Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft do like changing what they call things. It used to be known as Bing Chat for Enterprise. It's available in Microsoft Edge and also in the latest releases of Windows 11. Okay. It's available for personal and work accounts, and commercial data protection is applied to work account access. That's quite an important point, because what that means is if you are accessing Microsoft Copilot via Edge and you're signed in with your Microsoft 365 account, in essence, because you authenticated, it then applies a level of protection to the questions you're answering. Because by default, if you go and ask ChatGPT something, it will add the query that you're asking it into what it calls its large language model. And that then gets used in formulating queries that are being asked by other people. With the commercial data protection, it basically, it doesn't add your queries into the language model, okay? So again, very things here. So how can I set smart goals and track my progress at work? So I could ask this in Edge, or I could ask this in the app on my Windows 11 desktop. So come back, and here comes back these suggestions from Copilot as to how I could set my own smart goals. Copilot Designer, again, that is a Microsoft tool that allows you to get images created from text that you put in. Now, I'm sure we've all seen lately some of the absolutely terrible AI images that start appearing. So again, use all this stuff with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but if you're using it for the right purposes, and again you're checking that what it's producing actually reflects what you want it to produce, again it can be a very useful tool. Yeah, we all love cats, don't we? So again, this could be generated, so just see at the top, I could have said a sales department working in the office, generate a photo for that, and it will generate all these sorts of images. Very impressive, very good. Perhaps useful for the marketing department, but it's not something that makes me massively excited, to be honest. So Microsoft 365 Copilot, this is where some things start getting quite interesting, which is basically where we can use this within our Microsoft 365 tenants and use it to leverage information and data that is stored within our tenant. So Copilot in Teams is perhaps one of the best uses of this. So for example, within here, We can see we have Copilot here, and we can get information from the chat. We can ask it for highlights in the past 2 days. It will basically go away and get the information that we're requesting from it. Now, before I move on from that, there is one really, really good use case for Copilot in Teams that personally as an organisation, we think a lot of companies might quite like. And so we have our Human Resources Director, Linda. Now, at ADM, we're approximately 80 members of staff, so she has to do 80 annual appraisals. Now, once she's done someone's annual appraisal, it then takes her up to an hour to type up the notes from each appraisal. What we can do within Teams is basically we could use Copilot in combination with transcription to basically record everything that's happened in that meeting, whether it's over voice or over messaging, generate a transcript of that meeting and then generate summary notes from those. Now, in Linda's case, where we've been testing this has the potential to save her 80 hours a year, which is over 2 working weeks a year, where she is just typing up notes from staff appraisals. So that's something that I do find quite interesting. Again, Copilot in Outlook. So again, this allows us to see here, it's generating a draft of message. We can then decide, yeah, we're going to use that message. And it's generated that plus point. Obviously, we hope that the spelling is ultimately correct, it's grammatically correct. So again, that's potentially quite useful. Again, it can take an email chain and summarise that function. So, if I remember correctly, this particular chain here, there's a number of emails associated with that, and within that, you can basically ask Copilot to summarise the content of everything in that email chain. Again, it can coach you and suggest alternative ways that you might like to say something. So, almost like a thesaurus that's looking at what you're typing as you type it. I am scooting over some of this quite quickly, just to get it covered as briefly as best I can in the time available. So again, Microsoft Chat in Teams. So again, this allows you to basically ask a natural language question within Teams. So from here, basically it asks, here's a summary of everything relating to a particular company yesterday. I've been able to use that, for example, to ask within my Teams to retrieve all documents from my OneDrive that I've worked on a particular subject. So it makes finding that information quite easy. Again, Copilot in Word, this can be very useful as well. So, as we can see here, we've asked it to take some meeting notes and draft a proposal from those meeting notes. And again, it's generated that proposal. So that's very similar to where I was saying that we can take a transcription from a Teams meeting, and it will generate the meeting notes for us from that. Again, Copilot in PowerPoint. Again, this is very powerful as well. So again, we go into Copilot here and ask it to create a short presentation. Now, I'll let you into a little secret here. This presentation that you're seeing today was created by my colleague Nathan, who actually used Copilot within PowerPoint to create the presentation. It all becomes very sort of like wheels within wheels. So again, within here, you can also edit the presentation. So you can go in and ask it to add transitions, add additional documentation, add additional wording onto the individual slides. Copilot in itself, I make no apologies. I'm an infrastructure guy. I can just about take my monthly expenses up in Excel. I can't do anything incredibly complicated with it. But again, just some examples here. Again, you could use Copilot and ask it to generate information and bring it back from within the Excel spreadsheets. And again, bring that back in natural language, which you can then use to put into any documents or summaries that you require. Again, similar thing, you could ask it to generate tables automatically for you in Excel. And also look at the insights within there. So you can ask it basically to, I suppose in a way, it's automatically generating data from the pivot tables, that sort of thing. So this is really important. This is probably getting towards the end now. So managing the risks associated with AI. So understand the potential risks, implement proper security measures. Most importantly, make sure that your data is protected appropriately with appropriate permissions. And also have a plan, a test plan, do some time, do some piloting, just to make sure that you're getting the responses that you expect. And as always, be aware of inaccurate results or out-of-date source data. So that's really the conclusion. Define clear goals for your implementation, ensure that it aligns with what you are trying to do as a company, and also communicate all the benefits and risks. Just one last thing I do want to bring up, which is something that I really think is going to become a requirement, and this is something I'm working on ADM at the moment. So obviously within all organisations you have or should have acceptable use policies for email usage, acceptable use policies for internet usage. Again, we're going to have acceptable use for AI. Okay, so this, just very briefly, I'll just go through this. So this is the draft of what the ADM computing acceptable use policy is. So we want to ensure that it aligns with our company values, our legal requirements. Also, we're looking at restricting the AI tools that can be used primarily to the Microsoft ecosystem and OpenAI chat. Again, we say here the use of AI tools to find information, you should treat it the same as any other resource. Just because it's AI, don't assume it's correct. Yeah, so always cross-refer, make sure that you're happy with what's coming back from there. Next point there is really for an IT environment, because obviously you can go and ask it to generate program code, generate scripts. Don't just go and use those. What we recommend as well, in the spirit of openness, so for example, you'll see here the header of this, I've actually put that this document was created with the assistance of Big Enterprise Chat, because I use that to get some of my wording right. So rather than directing it to produce my content, I gave it my information and took from it how it actually worded it, because I asked it to word it in a particularly professional manner. So again, that's quite useful. Again, if you do end up using transcription within Teams meetings, at ADM, we would ensure that anybody was happy that transcription was being enabled during that Teams meeting. That's pretty much it to go through. I think I've just managed to stick to just under 15 minutes. So apologies for the brevity of some of it. It is very much I jumped in at the last minute, so this is actually only the second time I've seen this presentation today. And also it is very much looking at yourselves as to how you want to use this moving forwards. Again, don't take it as it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Look at it from your business point of view, how it can assist your business. As I say, a couple of use cases that we're particularly investigating at ADM is, as I said, the transcribing and meeting note generation, which can save a lot of time. And another thing that we're doing as well is hooking this into our internal documentation. So, for example, our service team can do a natural language search of what is the ADM procedure in the event of an email security breach. And it will direct them to the appropriate procedures. We're doing the same with integrating it into our ISO compliance documentation. So basically, rather than having to rely on SharePoint search, which can be a bit flaky at the best of times. Our staff can ask a natural language query, as in what is ADM's policy on the storing of customer data, and it will bring back links to the appropriate documentation. Again, if you're hooking it into your internal documentation, you need to review and make sure that your permissions are correct so that people aren't able to access the information that they should be able to. And that's pretty much all I wanted to go through. So thank you for your time on this. Again, apologies for the brevity, but if there are any questions or anything, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much for stepping in, and we've all appreciated it. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
We need to move on now because we're running over time. But thank you so much, Andy. Really appreciate it.
No problem. If anyone would like a deeper dive into it, just get in touch with us.
Okay, so now we move to Live with AI with Joe Terry.
Hi. I'm head of school for creative industries, so AI is something that we are putting our toes into, and so what we've got now is we have got the dancers and the music, so musicians are going to be basically performing a composed piece that is being composed by AI. As you can see, I'm not a performer, and then after that, the dancers will be doing a dance based and choreographed by AI. Okay, so hopefully you talk as well. I'll just check out.
Thank you for doing some music for us. It's composed by AI, so we're eager to hear. Beautiful. the team. That was amazing. Thank you. Yes.